Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Beyond, Season 1, Episode 1. It's the pilot. We are going to start spoiler free, as we always do with Episode 1s, just so you can get a sense if you like it or not before we start delving into deep plot details. So, this is from Freeform. It is a science fiction type show where a character named Holden has an strange encounter. One might call a sort of UFO type, at least it appears to be a UFO style event when we see it in the show. And he goes into a coma and he wakes up 12 years later, but he has powers and a sort of hidden past that there's some sort of conspiracy going on. There's mystery surrounding what was actually happening while he was asleep all that time. And it's about him trying to reintegrate back into society with his parents, his brother, his friends, and stuff's going on. That's the gist of the show. That's what it's about. This is a really frustrating show
Okay.
because I was kind of expecting to hate it, mainly because Tim Kring was involved and it's on Freeform. Right, those are the two big things. It was like, this is probably going to suck
Yeah,
because of
we've
these
not had a
things.
great track record with Freeform, have we?
No. We've tried two shows from them before and we really disliked both of them. This shares some of those sensibilities with those other two, namely the horrible cast
Yep.
is definitely there. They're mostly pretty good looking, but they're terrible. It's kind of like CW but worse, where you have
It is, isn't it?
you've got these good looking people, but they're all
They don't
they're
even
also
have any
acting.
sort of quality to back it up. At least CW, at least half of them can act.
At the start of the show, we start with a flashback before the incident when he's a kid, because obviously 12 years passed, so it's a different actor playing him as a younger teenager. And the acting was terrible from the kids in that, but I kind of let it go because, well, we're not going to see these kids again. It'll be over and
Yeah.
we'll have the main cast. But the lead actor who plays Holden has the charisma of a potato.
It's kind of terrible across the board, though. There's no point in singling anyone out, I don't think.
I don't know. I feel like the female lead, Willa, I feel like she might even be worse than the rest of them.
Yeah, okay.
Because
I'm not going to argue that much, to be
she,
honest.
she was in like two scenes, and I was like, oh god, this is terrible. Why are these people being paid to do
She's
this?
very, very stilted, wasn't she?
Very stilted. It was clearly a case of, we got someone who's a model who wants to be an actress, but has no acting ability whatsoever. It just felt that way, like
Yeah.
across. But the reason why this is frustrating is because it's trying to do a lot of things that I actually like.
Yeah.
It starts off with kids with walkie-talkies, sneaking around in their bikes and stuff. It has that kind of quality to it. And then the whole plot of, it's maybe been adopted by aliens, kids got superpowers. I like all this stuff. And there's even at least one moment in it that I actually really liked as well. There's a moment late on in the episode, and this isn't a spoiler because the premise is that he has powers, but the first time he uses his powers, I actually really like that moment. I think it's well shot.
It is. And I'd go as far as to say this might be the best thing I've seen on Freeform,
Yeah, that's fair.
but I still don't really like it.
That's also fair. Because, like I say, the visual effects when the powers are first used, I actually think are really cool. And it really annoyed me because I was like, I'd already kind of given up on the show by that point, and I was like, I really wish this was with a better cast and just a couple of little tweaks here or there. Because what it really is everything we've seen from Freeform, it feels like the same kind of tone that a young adult adaptation would have, even though I don't think it's based on a young adult novel. I wouldn't surprise me if it was, though. It has that kind of feel to it.
It does.
And most of those are actually really guilty of this, where they take something I like, whether it's Hunger Games, it's a dystopian future where you're making kids kill each other. Yeah, I'm all into that. But they do this thing where they kind of water it down and to appeal to a teenage audience, and it feels really hollow. And that's kind of what this is as well. It has that kind of, I like a lot of what's going on in terms of plot because I normally like this kind of thing, but all of it's
That's the thing. It's like there's so many ideas here that it's like, I really want to see more from this or that, and it's just like, what's the point? I don't want to see them do more of it here.
nah. Because they set up this whole mystery about who the bad guys are. We don't know exactly who it is. And it's the kind of thing where in any other show we'd be sitting theorising, maybe they do this and maybe they do that. And
Like they even set up a bunch of stuff within that 12 years that he was in a coma. Like they set up that there's a mystery in there, and we should care about that, but we
yeah.
don't.
Yeah, it fails to make us care about any of the characters, I think. And it is sadly through mostly just kind of easy writing here or there. There's a lot of really cliched moments. At least I felt that way, where characters would run in, and the way he first meets the female character Willa, who is like trying to warn him that there's some sort of conspiracy going on. That just felt like right out of any other show or movie about a conspiracy, and it felt like it was hitting all these similar beats. But there's the odd moment where they're actually hitting the right tone of him
What
being
this
back.
should be, yeah.
Or they hit the moment with the superpowers, and actually, this actually feels like an epic power, and it looks good on screen. It's just that I don't like any of the characters, or to an extent the actors playing them.
Yeah.
Not to judge them as people. Maybe some of them might be lovely, but as actors, they're annoying.
Yeah, and the thing is, we sound like we hate this because we're just saying it's problem after problem. But the end result, it's not that bad.
It's not
like
painful.
It's watchable.
Yeah, it's not painful. I went in thinking this was going to be painful, and it was more like
Boring.
kind of boring. I wouldn't say it was super boring. The word I started off this review was frustrating, and I think that I'm going to stick to frustrating because I'm watching it, and I'm like, I kind of like this thing about it. It's two kids sneaking off to the top of a what do you call it, a water tower,
Yeah.
and like, this feels like an 80s movie kind of thing.
Yeah, getting drunk off 2 sips of beer.
Yeah, he did get drunk really quick. But then they start introducing that certain characters you might not be able to trust, and I'm like, this just feels contrived, and you're forcing too much into this already. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, by all means, try it. Like, it's an episode 1. I don't think you're going to hate yourself for watching it, but at the same time, I don't think we're going to be watching any more of it.
No, but like I say, it's easy watching. Maybe if you just want to stick it on in the background.
Yeah, it could probably work for that, I guess.
I wouldn't I don't think I could pay attention to all 10 episodes and sit there.
It's worth mentioning that Freeform actually put all of this, the whole season, 10 episodes are up on their services, along with the premiere of the first 2 episodes. So you can actually binge it if you want to. So it is there if you want to. It's funny, I almost feel like maybe we're just spoiled by good TV, where this doesn't quite cut it, but it is really that frustrating thing where I like a lot of these ideas, and if you cast a better set of actors, you toned back on a couple of the overlay young adult feeling, like when the brothers are in the store looking at clothes and they sees the girl looking at them, it turns into a young adult thing where they're talking about, what do I do? Do I go talk to her? And it feels...
Well, this is the thing. It's like, I feel like I kind of like this because it's like, obviously he's the older brother, but he's missed 12 years and the other brother's grown up.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's the younger one is acting like the older brother. I kind of like that in essence, but it's just not. It's not being pulled off in the acting.
Yeah, I like that as well. That idea that they've flipped because he's been gone for so long, and they crack a couple of jokes about stuff that he's missed because he's been gone for 12 years, and they kind of hit for the most part. They're okay. There's one about Wikipedia I thought was weird though, because 12 years ago was 2005. 12 years ago was 2005. Wikipedia did exist in 2005, right?
Google's only about 15 or 16, isn't it?
Google's older than that. YouTube's 2005. Google's older than YouTube.
How old is Google? I don't think it's that old.
Google's been around at least since 2000.
All right, Google's 18.
Google's 18. There you go. So that was the 90s.
Late 90s, yeah.
Yeah, late 90s. Yeah, I knew it was... Because Google existed when I got internet. And I had internet way before 2005.
Yeah. I wonder how old Wikipedia is, though.
Just live fact checking here. How old is Wikipedia?
Well, Wikipedia... that article is dated 2011 and says 10 years old. So...
2001. Yeah, I'm pretty sure by 2005 I was using Wikipedia for all my school homework. So the fact that this kid wouldn't know about Wikipedia...
I'll be honest, I don't really remember 2005. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. If I wasn't using Wikipedia yet, I was using it all throughout college and stuff.
Yeah.
It was used extensively. I have no doubt about that. We're nitpicking this joke. But
it is, but if you're going to play jokes, you deserve it.
The Apple one was fine because Apple didn't really become this huge thing
Yeah,
until
not
the
till the
iPhone.
iPod, maybe.
Yeah. iPod, iPhone, yeah, that sort of stuff is what kind of made Apple a trendy thing that people
Yeah.
obsessed over. Of course, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the nerds are out there who have been obsessed with Apple Mac computers for decades.
Oh yeah, but they weren't a big mainstream thing.
They didn't open stores to cater to those people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the end of spoiler free. Don't really recommend it. It's nice ideas, but it's freeform
Yeah,
and bad acting.
and I'm really scared for the Deep.
You know the Deep's going to have this exact type of acting.
It is, but I'm thinking maybe a mermaid war will be enough to forgive it.
Do we want to do a couple of spoilers? Some spoiler talk for it?
It's up to you.
Yeah. Okay, so spoilers from this point on for episode 1 of what we're watching? Beyond. And see, that's how forgettable and kind of generic a lot of it is. But yeah, so the best friend that he's with as a kid and is now an adult, and I actually kind of liked it when he goes to see him. Oh, he's got a job because he's in his 20s.
He's like married and he's got a kid on the way.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a surreal thing where it almost feels surreal when you're in your early 20s and you're like, wait, someone I knew from school's got a kid? What? Like, and that feels weird on its own.
I mean, you didn't get that till your early 20s.
Well, I mean...
Maybe that just says something about the area I'm from more than
No, don't get me wrong. There was teen pregnancies, but I mean more from...
Yeah.
Where they're actually married and have a kid. Yeah. That kind of thing, where it's like more grown-up style. But... So, that feels surreal enough as well for a long time when you're in your 20s and you're not ready to do those sort of things. But you're hearing of people, oh, they've got a kid and they've got 2 kids, they've got a house, and like, what, man?
But this is taken to the extreme because he is still essentially a teenager in his mind.
To him, 2 days ago, they were looking at Playboy and oh, look at these boobs. Yeah. These are cracking boobs, aren't they? Oh, they're great.
Exactly.
No, so I like that. But as soon as they started playing it, oh, he's in on something, and we see the shots of the friend with his phone crying because he's scared of what's going to happen, and he brings out the gun. By the way, see that shot of leaning over and getting a gun out of the glove box?
Yeah.
So something about that's just so cliched now that as soon as he leant over, he's getting a gun. Of course, he's getting a gun.
Yeah. No, it is. It is the way the camera's just sitting across.
Yeah, he's getting a gun. Of course, he's getting. What else could he have in there that he's getting? I really want it to be a donut because that surprised me, and I'd have been excited because it's a donut, and I like donuts.
Yeah, would have given this show extra points for that, I think.
So yeah, he's going to have this emotional talk with his friend, but he's taking the time to get a bit of nutrition. But
again, I'm also not feeling the shadowy voice on the phone.
No, I'm not feeling that. No, I wasn't even feeling Willa's character until they kind of, at the end, I mean, I say feeling, I don't mean I liked her then, because she was still a terrible actress, but I wasn't feeling the inclusion of her character until it was feeling, no, I've been watching you and helping you for 12 years while you were asleep. You just don't remember it.
Yeah.
That's a decent idea.
It made it feel like she wasn't there just randomly. At least she had a reason for being there, at least from her perspective.
I hated her first scene. Her first scene in the store I thought was tedious and cliched. But that scene I liked well enough. And like we said, I liked the visual effect of the power where everything goes slow motion. The rain basically stops.
Yeah, it felt and just the people flying back except him and the other guy.
It felt like proper impact. And I was like, oh, I wish this was in a better show, this effect, because I actually genuinely really liked that moment, but rest of it not so much. And we see, of course, at the end that she can communicate with someone else who's in a coma, presumably her father, maybe, or just someone she knows, and he can like text her while he's in the coma.
Yeah, and this thing is like, I kind of like this idea.
Oh yeah, the idea that they're all like sharing a consciousness or going to a subconscious place together. Yeah. And that they can still communicate with the outside world via, signals.
Like maybe he's been doing that as well for these past 12 years.
Like they're sending out a signal that's being converted into what a phone would recognise as a text kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's an okay idea. Like I'd be curious about all this stuff if the show wasn't just
bland.
Bland and generic and full of terrible actors. So that's Beyond. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Let us know what you thought of it if you give it a try. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. And I'll admit, I'm kind of glad it's bad just so we don't have to binge watch another show because we just finished Travellers, which was much better. Travellers was good.
God, yeah.
It's on Netflix. Check out Travellers.
Yeah, watch it. And then we had DOA a couple of weeks ago as well, which also very good.
And next week we've got a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, I mean,
So
a week off from a binge is kind of nice.
yeah, it's kind of nice. You know, we thought we'd have some quiet time. Well, actually, I say that we need to binge watch The Expanse to catch up. But at least we've got a week to do it now. There's no other binges to interfere with it.
Well, yeah.
So that's fun. But yeah, my cat's hitting my mic stand. I don't know if that was loud. But thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. And yeah, we'll see you next time.